For all I know, this could be my last body language video. As most of you already know, our country's been taken over by some foreigners. Hell, we're not Americans. We're not even allowed to say the word shithole. That's where we're at today. Quite frankly, our founding fathers who wrote the Constitution, they would be considered domestic terrorists. That's where we're at today, where some foreigners have come into our country and they have taken us over. Like I said, my channel was disabled. I'm temporarily back on now, all because I said the word shithole. I gotta be honest with you, I looked all through the Constitution today, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and where did it say in the Constitution that Americans were not allowed to say the word shithole? I couldn't find it. I gotta be honest with you, could not find it. Matter of fact, I found something in there about free speech. Yes, our founding fathers were pretty excited about it. They wrote a document. It was a founding document of our country. Free speech. But apparently these men who were born in a foreign country and now they're powering over top of us, they've never read this document. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I don't get to the actual body language analysis until about the 9 or 10 minute mark in the video. So if you don't want to hear about all this bullshit about our Constitution, how we've been taken over, if you don't want to hear this bullshit, go to about the 9 or 10 minute mark and then we start the body language analysis. But I feel like it's important that we need some background information on these people who think they are our masters. Our discussion today will be on this fellow here. His name is Sundar Pichai, or is it Sundar Pichai? I really don't give a shit. All I know is I'm sure that Google and him and all his minions, they'll find an excuse to shut me down very soon. My message to Sundar, our $200 million guest, I mean, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. But anyhow, he makes $200 million a year in our beautiful country, and he pays me $66.66 for my work. Yes, it's really, really a fair ecosystem. But that's what their let me go over a couple of their key words. Yes, the CIA, Mossad, deep state intelligence community, they have a couple new code words they want to indoctrinate us with. Ecosystem, they want to protect their ecosystem, and of course, I am a bad actor. When they're talking about their ecosystem, they're talking about how he makes $200 million a year. Yes, Sundar makes $200 million a year. That's the ecosystem, and again, they pay me $66.66 a month. Yes, our founding fathers would be proud of our new system we have. But let's get started. As I said earlier, I looked in the Constitution. I just wanted to breeze through it, and I was looking in there for some sort of secret speech police. Could not find any authorization for a secret speech police in America. I just could not find it. And you're probably wondering why I bring it up. I mean, you're not going to believe this. You really are not going to believe this. But anyhow, the quasi-government agency called Google and YouTube, they have a secret speech police. Seriously, I'm almost at a loss of words. I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, apparently the speech police, apparently they don't like the word shithole either. Yeah, see, I think this goes back to, I think all these people who are a part of this new secret speech police, I don't think they're born in America. I don't think they read our Constitution. I don't even think they have even heard of our Constitution. Seriously, if these people read the Constitution, nowhere in the Constitution does it give them a right to be a secret speech police in America. I mean, Google and YouTube is like a public utility now. They're a monopoly. But anyhow, this is how it gets started. I mean, how does India produce a man who makes $200 million a year, and then they put him in charge of the most powerful corporation in America? How did it happen? So we're going to go into some background information. Before we get to the body language analysis, we really do have to do some background analysis. Who is this man? Who put him in that position? Why do they think he's worth $200 million? Well, if he's going to be able to cancel out the Constitution, this man is a very valuable person to the deep state if he can cancel out the Constitution. Who has he worked for before? He's worked for the McKinsey Company, and let's go over some of these companies he worked for before, because it does matter. I mean, if you want to know something about your new master, I mean, we know that Google is spying on us. So let's go into, just real quickly, who did he work for before? He worked for McKinsey and Company. Now remember, we have to understand there's a connection between India and Israel. They are working together. We must understand this. I mean, if you're going to know why I cannot use the word shithole, and why am I getting paid $66.66 a month, you have to understand that Israel is working with India to put their big boot on our head. I mean, you have to know this. If you don't understand this, you might as well go back and watch the Kardashians, because why even study body language? Why study body language if you don't know their interior motive? These people have a motive. They have a narrative they want to push, and blah, blah, blah. Let's get into it. Apparently, McKinsey has been in trouble before, senior executives, that, what's their name? Gupta and Kumar and Raj and all these guys were investigated and arrested. Gupta's protege, blah, blah. You may not find this interesting, but these men make millions of dollars. Like I say, Sundar makes $200 million. This guy, an assistant, made $6 million for Raj. And what does this matter? What does it matter that these people make millions and millions, and you and I have to pick up the breadcrumbs? Let's go on to the next company he worked for, Materials, Applied Materials. You see, you have to see the connection. There are many people, see, to you and I, to the normal people that I have a conversation with today, you and I know this connection. But there may be some new person who doesn't know that there's a connection between these companies, these international corporations. Who are they? Who are they? And why do they want to break America? Because, as I've said before, not only do they have interior motives, they have ulterior motives, and they have exterior motives. Their interior motives is they want to take away our guns. Yes. You see, if they don't want us to say the word shithole, I mean, remember, these people have a monopoly. Now they have a secret speech police. And if they're going to be able to successfully be able to convince me that I cannot say the word shithole, well, first they have to take away your gun. So that's their interior motive, to take away your gun. Their ulterior motive is to take away your free speech. And their exterior motive is to take the money out of the country. $200 million this man is taking out of our country. Born in India, making $200 million. I mean, I can't say that enough. I could say that 1,000 times, and maybe somebody sitting on a couch watching the Kardashians might sit up and the headlights would come off on their eyes would light up like headlights and say, what? $200 million for implementing a secret speech police? Really? I mean, if somebody told me 20 years ago, yeah, there's going to be this man born in India, he's going to come to America, he's going to implement a secret speech police on the Americans, the deep state is going to pay him $200 million, and you're going to take it. If somebody would have told me that 20 years ago, I would have thought they were insane, crazy, but here I am telling you, yeah. They're paying this man $200 million to implement a secret speech police agency where Americans cannot say the word shithole. So let's finally get to the man, and let's do a little body language. What I found interesting in his body language is on all the important questions, he's always shaking his head no. His head's always no. He doesn't even believe his answers himself. He doesn't believe his words. Here he says, we want to fix it. We want to fix it. It's not your job to fix it, but his head's shaking no all the time.
Understand it. We want to fix it. We have more elections coming, so we are all working hard at it, right? I think.
So again, what stands out, he's always shaking his head no. He's constantly saying we. I mean, who are we? We'll go into that later. I can assure you it's not the American people. His eyes are always shifting, looking to the left, looking to the right. He is very, very deceptive. He does not even believe his own words. He's not a good liar. And no, he's not worth $200 million. He's overpaid. He's not even a good liar. But anyhow, he's working for some people, and I want to go into that. You notice the clothes he wears also. When he's dealing with Americans and he wants to deal with the millennials, he's always wearing these type of clothes that fit in with the millennials. He wants to, but when he's working, when he shows up with his boss, when his boss shows up, when the leader of India shows up, then he's in a suit. So this is part of body language on what kind of clothes you wear. So I'm going to just briefly talk about this. He's really smiling. He's very submissive. When his real master comes, when the leader of India shows up, he's normally always in a suit. He's smiling. He's using submissive gestures. Let's look into it. So here we go. Remember, he's born in India. It's quite possible you can speculate that he is maybe even a spy. I mean, how can we rule it out? He's born in India. He's in part of an intelligence organization. He's implemented a secret police, speech police. Here he is bowing down to Modi. So the reason why I'm including this, it's submissive body language. And who is he submissive to? The leader of India. He's wearing a suit again. He's always smiling. We'll go into that later. But here, now, when he's talking to the millennials, when he's talking to Americans, the peasants, he's in a jogging suit. You see? This is his jogging uniform to enhance a positive image. Enhance a positive image with the millennials, 30 and unders. Even though he's fastly approaching 50. Here he is, submissive behavior again after meeting Modi. He's in his suit. You cannot rule these out. All of this has to be included when you're dealing with body language analysis. Again, there's the leader of India. Watch his hands. See how his hands are clenched together, his shoulders in. This is a submissive stance. He's smiling in his suit. There he is. This is clearly showing me who his boss is, the leader of India. But the problem is he's in control of one of the most powerful corporations in America. But he's submissive to the leader of India. I mean, this is what his words are never going to tell you this. This is why we have to study body language if you're going to know the truth. Okay, one more. One last submissive stance. He's even tense. He's nervous. He's always smiling. He wants to be known as the nice guy. The nicest guy in Silicon Valley. Hands really tightly clenched because he's there. He's nervous to be around his leader, his master, his boss.
Understand what more we can do better. We have many initiatives and we are working very, very hard at it.
What more we can do better? As he shakes his head no. What more we can do better? Who's we? It's clear to me who we are. I mean, we know where he was born. We've already established who he's submissive to. I mean, he makes $200 million a year, and he's submissive to Modi, the leader of India. I mean, this is a gross injustice to the American taxpayer. Remember that Google would not be where they are today without American taxpayer money. This is a gross injustice. Their ecosystem. He's always smiling. He wants to be the nicest guy in Silicon Valley because, yeah, he likes that $200 million and he has to take orders. Okay, let's move on to something here. They ask him if he regretted firing a Gentile American. And now you know why I included all that background information. Who are the two countries working to bring us down? It's no surprise, of course, that if you have a real American kid, a Gentile American kid, and he voices, a different opinion from them, I mean, Of course they're going to fire him. I'm pretty sure that this kid named James here, I'm pretty sure that he knows about the Constitution. See, he grew up in this country. He knows about the Constitution, but that gets in their way. So he had to go. James Damore, or however he pronounces his name, he had to go because James knows about the Constitution. And these people don't care about the Constitution. So what's the body language? When he says, I don't regret firing James, he's actually shaking his head no. They know it's a big mistake. So he says, no, I don't regret it, but he's shaking his head no. Of course, so his body language tells me he does regret that he had to do it. So his body language is not matching his voice. So we're talking deception here. He's being deceptive. Of course, they know that firing a Gentile American kid is not right, but they had to do it anyhow if they're going to take over the country, if they're going to implement a secret speech police. Well, real Americans have to be fired. Let me throw out a couple words there. You got foreign spy, you got treason, you got secret speech police. What are they afraid of? The Constitution. You see, the Constitution is totally against a secret speech police. The Constitution is against foreign spies. This is what they're afraid of. Not only are they afraid of me saying the word shithole. You see, they don't want me to say the word shithole, but they're also scared of our Constitution. So let's wrap this up. I don't want to go on forever, but it's how to get a job at Google. Notice how he's dressed. Again, when he's talking to the under 30 millennials, see how he's casually dressed? Jogging uniform or whatever? Well, it helps to be from India. I mean, if you're going to get a job at Google, I mean, just go to Silicon Valley. I mean, take a look for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. And I mean, how dumb are these international spies? I mean, he says that artificial intelligence is more profound than electricity or fire. I mean, they're not the brightest bear in the woods either. They say, oh, the reason why we have these people in Silicon Valley is they're so incredibly smart. I mean, Jesus. AI is more important than electricity and fire? I mean, you've got to be a complete idiot and a moron to even say that. Okay, like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse. We wrap this up. His body language was deceptive. Every time he answered an important question, he was shaking his head no. His word said yes, but he was shaking his head no. We've learned that his body language, submissive behavior when he comes around his boss, the leader of India. We've learned he makes $200 million. The American taxpayers are paying him $200 million as you and I pick up the breadcrumbs. I mean, what more do I have to say? I mean, I guess the only reason why Americans are not upset is they're on antidepressants or something. I don't know.